What is the most amount of money that you've ever made in a single year?
In a single year?
Yeah. Like what's the best year that you've ever done?
150,000?
How about you? What's the most that you've ever made in a single year?
630.
630?
Yeah.
630,000?
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. What industry did you pursue a career in?
Yeah, so I started as a biology major and then ultimately shifted over to journalism and PR. Today I'm a VP of sales, so I'm the one that's building the metaverse. I'm the one that's doing the advertising technology. Wow. When you're trying to buy those shoes and they follow you on the internet, I'm the guy behind that.
Yeah.
So I would tell people, once again, if you ignore the noise and when people are saying, you need to pursue a career within, let's say, the medical field, like your parents, or be a lawyer because your parents see that, I guess, the path for you, really start to look at what's going on around you. Very early on, I saw Facebook was growing much faster than everybody. Instagram was growing much faster, Snapchat. So I realized that brands would need access to a number of different consumers in different ways. So
let me ask you, someone who's a vice president of sales, what has been your secret to sales? How can someone crush it in sales going into 2023?
Interpersonal skills. Like, don't be afraid to meet people in person. Don't be afraid to reach out to folks via messaging. Call people. Don't just email them. So have a lot of different ways of communicating with folks. Continue to develop those skills and evolve them. But even when you go to restaurants, you're sitting at a bar next to somebody, talk to them. Yeah. You never know who you're sitting next to.
I love that. And with this one then for you, right? How can someone start their path to becoming wealthy going into 2023?
Okay, so if you're gonna go work a 9 to 5, the first conversation you have before you accept that job offer is, what are my stock options? I got started in the Bay Area. I'm from Austin, Texas. I went to Cedar Park High School, but I knew I needed to make money in California and bring that money back to Texas for it to extend. So understanding my options for stock options, understanding base salary, understanding bonuses, that's the conversation before I accept any job offer. And the next thing you know, your company might get bought out and then you can live where you want to live.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
Okay, but at 32, it's not easy to kind of like work your way up that high to a company. No. So what was the biggest driving factor that led to your success to enable you to do that, to really grow to the top of a company and, do something like that?
So in college, I started my first business doing social media marketing. So I was building Facebook fan pages for celebrities, understanding how marketing worked at a very granular level, and then shifted into paid advertising after that. So starting as an entrepreneur and knowing finance, knowing the skills of actually doing my day-to-day, but also having the ability to talk to a CEO, whoever else it might be, it's really helped me navigate very easily.
If you were to go back to when you were in either high school or college, what is the best piece of advice that you would tell your younger self?
Ooh, high school or college?
Yeah, like you're having a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what would you say?
So I would probably say it's okay not to know what you want to do. When I talk to people who are younger than me now, a lot of them are like, oh, I need to have a 5-year plan, a 10-year plan. But I've literally created a whole career for myself, not knowing what I was going to do until I got to the point where I'm at. And then everything made sense after the fact. So I always tell people, don't put that much pressure on yourself to have a 5 and 10-year plan. Just kind of roll with it to an extent. Have a little bit of a direction, but you don't have to know exactly what your next step is going to be.
I absolutely love that answer. And how about you? What advice would you tell your 20-year-old self?
You have to ignore the noise. The noise is going to get loud in a lot of different instances, whether you're right, you're wrong. If your heart, your intuition is telling you to do something, do it. Yeah. Now, make sure that it's legal and it's the right thing to do, but ignore the noise. You don't need their approval.
Absolutely. And just a couple last questions for you guys. I'll follow up with, what industry did you guys ultimately decide to pursue a career in?
So I ended up in financial technology. That's not how I started off. I have a degree in biology, so completely different from where I thought I was going to end up. I thought I was going to be a doctor.
Yeah. What advice would you give for someone pursuing the tech industry?
Oh my gosh. Teach yourself the skills that you need to be successful right now. Don't think that you need a college degree to have those skills. I can tell you right now, folks are recruiting young people who have been starting in high school, coding and all the things. Just soak up all the knowledge and invest in yourself. I was always told to bet on myself, so that's what I would tell them.
I'll follow up with as well.
Yeah.
You said kind of teach yourself the skill sets. In your opinion, what do you think is the best skill set to really possess? How can someone become financially free in today's world? What skill set do you think is, the best, is going to best equip people to kind of lead their path to financial freedom and start the path to becoming wealthy?
Yeah, so here's the thing. I think it's different for everybody, but ultimately, building off of what you said, being so caught up in what everybody else is trying to do, having your own LLC, if that's the path for you, you, go for it. But sometimes people like can make a whole career and can build wealth out of a 9 to 5. So like, don't be so influenced by what everybody else is doing around you. Like, find what's working for you, soak up all the skills, and let people pay for the skills that you're learning, right? And then if you feel like you need to go out and do that for yourself later, but I mean, I wouldn't go out and buy a master's degree if someone else is going to pay for me to learn it on the job. So.
Right. Absolutely.